feature of iOS 16 and macOS Ventura that I want to talk about, and it's the feature called Focus Filters. And this is, I think, an under the radar feature, which the more I looked into it and learned about it, the more excited I got at the possibility for it. And the topic we've talked about here on the podcast a lot is the focus modes in iOS, macOS, Android has it, Windows has it as well. And it's this ability to set different focus modes so that you can have just do not disturb, of course, but you can also have a work one, a home one, a reading one, a napping one, an exercise one, a driving one, or whatever. You can set it so that only certain apps and certain people can notify you. And you can even do stuff like change wallpapers and stuff like that. So that's been here for a while. Focus filters is a new feature coming out with iOS 16 and macOS Ventura. And basically, that allows you to go to the next level and control what you can see inside apps. So focus modes originally could just control notifications, but now it can actually reach into the different apps. And you can do things like maybe if you are in home mode or vacation mode and you start up your mail app, you can have it so that you actually literally don't even see your work email at all. Or maybe you have it in work mode so that your soccer dad messages, threads, or something like that just don't even show up when you're in a work focus mode. Or maybe you could have it so that depending on whether you're traveling or whatever, you could have it in dark mode or light mode. Or maybe if you're traveling in Safari, you could have a Safari tab group show up with travel tools like TripIt or whatever. There's all sorts of different ways that you can do this. And even better, third-party apps are going to be able to start implementing this as well. So that imagine a task manager where you only see certain projects depending on which focus mode you're in, or calendars and stuff like that. The more I think about it, the more possibilities there are. And I would just encourage people, if you are in the Apple ecosystem, unfortunately, I'm not aware of an Android feature that goes to quite this extent, but once you install iOS 16, really encourage you to take a look at focus filters, because I think it's pretty awesome. What do you think, Tan? I know you're mainly a do not disturb guy, which I totally get, but what do you think of this possibility of having more third-party apps actually use this?
When I saw this release, I immediately thought, oh, wow, this is really smart because if you can customize your whole phone within the app itself as well, you really get a customized experience. And I like the example that you gave earlier, which is let's say you're on vacation. The last thing you want to do is when you check your email is to see your work emails coming in, even if you have a unified inbox. So if I was on vacation, I just want to check my personal email. If I open up my email app and I only saw my personal accounts, that would be awesome. Like I don't have to even worry about what's going on at work. And so it goes back to the whole idea of the environment shapes us in many different ways and has so much more effect on us than we think it does. And I think with the focus filter feature, we can shape our environment to the way we want it. However, I think what's going to be challenging for most people, and this is where education will have to come in, but it will require some experimentation and will require some setup to really take advantage of this. Like even with the focus modes that we have right now, I think we've talked about it a few times, but I doubt that many people will actually use it and set it up because it just takes a little bit of barrier to get that going. And it also requires some experimentation, which is something not all of us have time for. But just on top of my mind, I would say the email thing is super helpful, especially with the calendar as well. If I'm traveling or on vacation, I don't want to see particular calendars. Just like how in Fantastical, you can switch between calendar sets very quickly. Imagine doing something like that universally among other apps that you have going on. So I can see this being very powerful. Now, you know me, I love vertical integration. Anytime you can vertically integrate anything, that's something I would always aim for. So if we can have a task manager and a note-taking app and a calendar all working together somehow, like having that vertical integration, great. You create a lot of efficiencies. I'm not a big fan of having a lot of different apps and tools that don't talk to each other because oftentimes it creates inefficiencies. And by having this across your whole operating system, I think it's really smart. So I'm really excited for this.